Check it out. We want to bring you a live look at our reunion tower cam where we were seeing some sprinkles just a few minutes ago, capping off a warm day. This is on the same day North Texas broke 100 degrees for the first time this year.
Yeah, we're also tracking our chances for storms. Let's get to meteorologist Cassie Hyder.
Hi there, guys. Yeah, we actually did have some heavy downpours in downtown Dallas. This is a live look at our WFAA Studios Dallas camera, and you can still see some light rain falling, but the heavier storm, that's now over with. We're actually seeing some sunshine now. Satellite radar, so we've seen rain and storms off to the east, it seems like all day today, but zooming in a little bit more closely now across the Metroplex, that one storm over downtown Dallas, it is now very weak, but it is putting out that outflow boundary. You can see moving out to the west. Once this boundary does pass you, you could see wind gusts between 20 to 30 miles an hour. We got some thunderstorms over near Emory. Those are not severe, but we do have one severe thunderstorm warning over Hill County, and that's until 6:30. It could produce maybe some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and some very small hail, very heavy rain, and quite a bit of lightning, but that's it. We're going to keep that chance of storms in the forecast this evening and for some of the overnight hours, but the coverage overall stays low. We're going to talk about what our storm chances look like for the rest of the week coming up in just a little bit, guys.
Well, tonight we're digging for answers in a shooting right outside a GM factory. In fact, we saw several evidence markers of where the shell casings landed. Kevin Reese is just north of I-30 in Arlington tonight to show us what happened and why.
5,200 employees enter and exit this General Motors parking lot on East Abrams every day. 2 of them left Tuesday morning with gunfire. Arlington police say 2 workers ending their midnight shift got into an argument at 6:35 a.m. One opened fire, hitting the other worker multiple times.
I don't know what the altercation was over. That's still under investigation. But what I can say is that these 2 individuals were not strangers to one another.
Police say the shooter left the victim behind in critical condition, but several minutes and 8 miles later called 911 from an apartment complex on Viridian Village Drive, admitting that he was the one police were looking for.
In his 911 call, did he give any indication as to why?
I don't have any information about that.
Police identify the suspect as 26-year-old Larry Hines. He was booked into the Arlington jail on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The victim is identified only as a 24-year-old GM worker taken to a hospital in critical condition. GM telling us our focus is on supporting that individual, their loved ones, and our Arlington team. We're cooperating with law enforcement and appreciate their assistance. Arlington police say both men worked the overnight shift, but in different departments at the assembly plant. They're interviewing other witnesses and looking for any surveillance video that might help them assemble a motive. In Arlington, I'm Kevin Reese.
This time 10 years ago, peaceful protesters were preparing to march in downtown Dallas in response to police shootings around the nation. Just hours later, a tragedy that changed the city of Dallas forever. 5 police officers were murdered in downtown Dallas, 4 from Dallas Police and 1 DART officer. Today, both departments paused to honor the men who lost their lives and the heroism of those who ran toward the gunfire. Senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez has covered this story from the very beginning. Rebecca, you are at Dallas Police headquarters there behind you where the memorial service just ended.
Yes, Cynthia, and the names of those officers and the sacrifices they made are not being forgotten today. Those 5 officers left for work that day and never came home. And they are being remembered today here outside Dallas Police headquarters. Officers, families, and city leaders gathered at the Fallen Officer Memorial. They honored Sergeant Michael Crow, Michael Smith, Senior Corporal Lauren Aarons, Officer Patrick Zamariba, and the 4 Dallas officers that were killed that night, and all of the officers that were also injured. It was an ambush, and it remains one of the darkest nights in the city's history. They were protecting protesters who were marching against officers involved in shootings when a gunman armed with an AR-style 15 weapon opened fire. Earlier today, DART also honored Officer Brent Thompson. Thompson is the only DART police officer to die in the line of duty in the department's history. DART also unveiled plans for a new memorial outside its headquarters, where Thompson's name will be etched. DART Police Chief Charles Cato says Thompson and other DART officers engaged the gunman that night, wounding him, slowing him down, and possibly preventing more people from getting hurt.
That is possible because there were 3 other Dart police officers who also engaged, and they were 3 others who were wounded as well. So Brent lost his life, but 3 others were shot. And so with the 4 of them engaging the shooter, I do believe that's what caused them to go into the building.
And it's what happened inside that building in El Centro College that we are focusing on tonight. We're going to show you never seen before video of officers and the heroism inside those walls, and also students that were running for cover and everything that transpired inside El Centro. Again, it's never before seen video, and we're going to have that for you tonight at 10, live at DPD headquarters. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. WFAA journalists were on the ground as the ambush unfolded, bringing you wall-to-wall coverage. Our photojournalists captured the chaos and the fear.
He's in El Centro right now.
Cop car's passing by.
Who's in El Centro?
The shooter.
There's a shooter?
He just unloads on the cop car.
You can see more through their lens all the way through the end of the incident on demand. We have our complete coverage of the ambush available on our free streaming apps.
Now to a developing story in Tarrant County where officials tell us they have confirmed cases of a gut-wrenching parasite, but not enough to issue a warning. County officials say there have been fewer than 5 cases of cyclosporiasis this year, including some in the past month, but none of them are connected to the current outbreak nationwide. Denton County and Collin County also reported 2 cases each. The parasite is often linked to fresh produce, especially leafy greens. And while the symptoms are similar to food poisoning, they can last a lot longer, up to a month in some cases. And even after some patients start feeling better, the symptoms can come back full force.
New tonight, attorneys for Karmelo Anthony ask for a new trial. Last month, Anthony was convicted of murder in the death of Austin Metcalf and sentenced to 35 years in prison. Today, Anthony's attorneys filed a motion to hold a new trial and asked for the judge overseeing the case to recuse himself. Since being sentenced, Anthony has hired a new legal team for the appeals process.
Marshawn Nealon's family just revealed that he posthumously was diagnosed with CTE. The Cowboys' former defensive end committed suicide last fall at the age of 24. Researchers studied Nealon's brain and concluded he was in the first of 4 stages of the illness. CTE has been linked to repeated head impacts, and Nealon's family wanted to raise awareness of what other athletes may be going through. Researchers want to be clear. The factors that contribute to suicide can be extremely complex, and this diagnosis should not be considered the cause of Nealon's death.